Today I wanted to make a video about the albums, to rank the albums of the legendary band from UK, Motorhead. First of all, I have to say that Motorhead was one of the bands that is not only a band so special about metalheads. This band was a crossover band, let's say, even before the crossover, between punk rock, metal, and rock and roll. They combined everything together. So in these years, in the 80s, when and in the last years of the 70s, when punk and rock and roll and metal they were one against each other, Motorhead they were the band that everybody loved. The same way, something common with AC/DC of these years. And until now, there's a joke in Greece about the metalheads of Greece that if there is a discussion and there is an opposition about which genre, which band is the better between metalheads, all these conflicts. The best way is to put, for example, a song of Motorhead, maybe Ace of Spades, everybody loves it. So, Motorhead started in 1975 in London. Afterwards, the leader of the band and the soul of the band, Lemmy Kilmister, left his old band by the name Hawkwind, or maybe even better, they throw him out because about a stupid reason about the drugs and the rock drugs. The whole story that was in the borders of Canada when Hawkwind they went there for a tour, an American tour. In any way, Lemmy went back to London, to the UK, and together with two other musicians, with Larry Wallis in the guitars and Lucas Fox in the drums, started Motorhead. With this lineup, he made only his first album by the name Motorhead. That it was to come out in something between 75 and 76, but it didn't came out until 79 under the name On Parole, something like that we will see next. So after this lineup, he changed the lineup, and the most important lineup of Motorhead was, of course, Lemmy, together with Phil Filthy Animal Taylor, rest in peace, also with as the drummer, and of course, Fast Eddie Clarke, also rest in peace. This power trio, they were the most important, let's say, and the most famous lineup of Motorhead. Of course, for some years they were four guys inside Motorhead. For example, Brian Robertson, Robbo, came for one album. From Thin Lizzy, he came to the band in 1982 until 1983, and other members came and left, but the last years of the band was also a power trio. Lemmy together with Phil Campbell and together with Mikey D in the drums. So here today I wanted to make let's say worst to best, but in reality it's not worst to best. It's less favor to more favor to ranking their albums. There are 23 full-length albums of them. It was not easy at all. So let's start. In the 23 place, I will put Snakebite Love. This album, it was the 15th album of them, of 1998. Of course, it's not bad album. It's Motorhead, but it's the last album that I can feel it. Let's say. In the place of 22, I will put this album, Sacrifice, the 13th album of them, of 1995. It was also one of the last albums, I think, or the last album that they were 4 guys in the band. In the place 21, I will put their last album of 2015, Bad Magic, their 23rd album of them. A little bit period, a little bit time after that, Lemmy died, and of course this is the last album of them. And not bad album at all, but I am less in connection with this. Here you can see also the number 40 with Latin letters, because it was also the album of their 40 years. Lemmy died also, I'm not sure, 4 days, something like that, after his 70th birthday party. Let's continue. Now, in 20 place, I will put this album that I know that many people will disagree with me, but this is my personal opinion. The album Bastards. It was their 12th album of them. Also, you know, before that Lemmy called the band Motorhead, he wanted to call the band Bastard, and he changed his mind. So maybe from here comes the name of this album. It's a very good album also, with some strong songs and famous songs, for example, Death or Glory, or Your Feet or Your Knees, and of course Born to Raise Hell, but I prefer the other albums even more. Next place, in the 19th place, I will put this album, their 21 album of them, The World Is Yours of 2010. Also, okay, a good album, but you know, all the last albums of them, they were even more close to each other about their sound. Now I'm coming to the 18th place, and here I will put their 20th album of them of 2008, MOTÖRHEAD. Also, special album, good album, Motorhead album, of course, but not something wow for me. And now, in the 17th place, there let's say it was to be their first album, but came out some years afterwards, in 79 and 79, but it was to be their first album of 76. So I'm speaking about the album On Parole. Unfortunately, I have this cover art, not the original cover, On Parole, and okay, it's okay, but in this album, this is the original first line up, not the most famous, with Wales and with Fox, together with Lemmy. In the 16th place, I will put their album that is even it's bit known as their debut album of 77, the year that I was born, Motorhead, by the name Motorhead. You can find some songs here. Here they are the real power trio with Clark and with Taylor, Lemmy here. And some songs here, 7 songs from here, also they are also here on Parole. And of course, the first album that we started to know their mascot, Snaggletooth. Okay, now in the 15th place I will put their 22 album of them of 2013, Aftershock. This is one album before their last album, but for me it's so special. I like it so much. I don't know why. I prefer it even more than their last album. For example, or more than Motorizer. Or The World Is Yours, I prefer it even better. Now, in the 14th place will come their 19th album of 2006, Kiss of Death. A very special album also, with strong songs. And here also they made a cover of Whiplash of Metallica as a bonus track. Yeah. And here also they have a very good ballad, God Was Never on Your Side. I'm continuing now in the 13th place with their 16th album of 2000. And in the new millennium then. And I'm speaking about the album, let's find it, yes. We are Motorhead, their 16th album of them, also a very special album. I like it. Also here we can find some very good songs. Also here they made a cover of God Save the Queen of Sex Pistols. Yeah, with a very also special cover art. And in the 12th place I will put their 14th album of 1996, Overnight Sensation, maybe with one of the most awful cover of their albums, but also it's very special. I like it very much. And here also the song I Don't Believe a Word, it has a little bit an epic style in its music. Okay, and now let's continue. In the 14th place, their 17th album of 2002, Hammered is also so strong album, one of the most strong albums of their last period. Very good. And now let's go on and hear another strong album of their. In the 10th place I will put their 18th album of them of 2004, Inferno. Yes, many people prefer this album. It's one of their strong album of them. In the 9th place, their 10th album of 1991, 1916, or 1916, the year of the First World War. Great album, one of their best albums of the middle period of them, let's say. Here, if I'm not sure, it was also the first album that they started with ballads. And here also they made a song by the name Ramones. Okay, let's continue. Now, from here and afterwards, I'm coming to speak about the classic of the classics of them. So, in the 8th place, their 9th album of them of 1987. This great album by the name Rock and Roll, of course. Here they were also, if I'm not very sure if it was the first album that they were 4 guys here. They were 4 guys here, but I'm not sure if this is the first album that they were 4. Oh, or Gamma Strong, it was even before, and they were 4 there. Okay, and now let's continue. Here I will put in the 7th place their 6th album of 1982, Iron Fist. Great album also, but I think that there are some very killer songs here, but some other songs that they're okay, not so something special. For example, Iron Fist, one of the best songs of them. I'm the Doctor also. Don't Need Religion. They're the best songs here, but there are some other songs. For example, America. That's okay. And now, in the 6th place, their 7th album of them, of 1983, Another Perfect Day, the album that when came out, some followers of the band, they didn't like it because of Brian Robertson. Also, a very special album. Yeah. Another Perfect Day. And now, in the 5th place, their 11th album of them, of 1992, and I'm speaking about March or Die. For me, one of the best albums of Motorhead. Yes, and I know that many people maybe they will disagree also with this opinion, but I think that the songs, for example, as Hellraiser, that also he wrote it, Lemmy, also for Ozzy, and it was in the album of No More Tears of Ozzy Osbourne. But not only March or Die, Bad Religion, for example, they're great songs. Also here they were 4 guys in March or Die. And I'm continuing now with the 4th place. Yeah, the first album that I think they were 4, and not Power Trio, Orgasmatron, the 8th album of them of 86. Wow, this album is so good, so great, with great songs, with a great also cover art, of course. D Forever, for example, or Dr. Rock or Gamastron. Great album. Now, in the 3rd place, their 3rd album of them, of 79. In 79 they made 3 albums, of course. If I will put together On Parole, it came out in 79. And here I will speak about Bomber, with also a great cover art, with great songs. Dead Men Tell No Tales, for Sweet Revenge, Substruse Suitor, Stone Did Fever Forever, for example, or the Aces, Bomber, of course. And now, here we have their two first albums of them. And of course, I made a question to me, what I will put first and what I will put second. So for now, in the second place, I will put their fifth album of them of 1980, Ace of Spades. Yes, this one of the most phenomenal albums of Motorhead, Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades, of course, We Are the Road Crew, Dance by the Bullet, for example, and so Live to Win, Fast and Loose, and so on and so on. Here also we have the EP together with Girls' School, with their songs of Girls' School, for example, Emergency and Please Don't That. It was a connection between Motorhead and the Girls' School. And in the first place, as you understand, their second full-length album of them, also of 1979, and I'm speaking about Overkill, of course, Overkill, maybe the forefathers of speed metal, let's say, together maybe with Judas Priest, but and not only. Wow, here, what do we have here? Great songs also, so great songs. Overkill, Capricorn, No Class, Metropolis, and so on and so on and so on. Great. This was about Motorhead, one of the most important bands of metal, of rock and roll, of punk rock, but let's say of rock and roll. This is a specific name to put it for all their works. So I have to say, first of all, rest in peace about Eddie Clark. Rest in peace also about Taylor, and of course, rest in peace about Lemmy. From Israel, from Jerusalem, stay metal and stay heavy.